So this is rolling. Okay, awesome. And I even have a professional light here. I mean, I'm experimenting with it. This will be a teaching today on Innately Whole, and I want to talk about what Innately Whole means, what are the struggles it emerged from, and what are the struggles I see happening in the world and many people experiencing, what are the benefits, and how can we practice it. So is there any question maybe you would like to know about Innately Whole, or is there any struggle you just in general facing right now in your life?
Well, I'm kind of interested just to know more about the concept behind it, because I think I've heard about it. You're like peeling off the layers to find like your inner self.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I just wondering more about like a bit more detail on that.
Okay. That's great, because that's just what I'm about to talk. So yes, one of the main concepts is that I want to cover the conceptual part of it, and at the same time I want to cover the practical part of it. It's not about adding things to yourself. Obviously you learn, you evolve, you grow, and that's what self-development is, right? It's about growing and evolvement and adding to yourself. And during this teaching we will see that there will be a lot of seemingly contradiction, or a lot of seemingly like contradicting ideas, but what it is really that we often talking in different levels of understanding. So reality is multi-layered. So we can say that we are our body, we can say that we are our thoughts or feelings, and it's right, but at the same time we will discover that there is a deeper truth. So what we're gonna work on today, or what we will talk about, is how can we dive deeper, so getting a deeper and at the same time a higher understanding on who we really are, why we should peel off layers, and why we shouldn't strive for adding stuff to ourselves to become fulfilled. Let me just start with a story. I was heavily into the self-development. I still am, but I consider in a new kind of self-development. But I was following all the gurus, were doing the all the morning rituals, and were hustling, and were amongst people who were hustling at the same way. So seemingly I've done everything fine. I've done everything by the book, or maybe not everything, but I really tried. And that's the thing, that it was really effortful. So I woke up in the morning, I started with affirmations, I was listening affirmations for an hour, read my goals, wrote my journal, ate my healthy foods and drink and spirulina, and all these things on the list we can research and hear, and all of those are amazing. The point is that the reason behind it was wrong. So not the tools were wrong, but the reason behind it was wrong. And I got to the point with this all hustling and being more and more unhappy, because the distance between who I saw myself to be and what I want to be just grew and grew and grew. The more research I've done, and the more I went forward, the more distance I felt from who I am right now and what I want to be, and that just made me incredibly unhappy, up to the point that I became depressed. depressed so much that I was walking on the street on Bios Road, and I just had a meeting with an amazing friend of mine, and I was about to cross the street, and you know that feeling when I just felt my nervous system reacting when the car came, that I'm gonna just step in front of it. You know that feeling, woo, and then oh my God, okay, so I arrived to the state when I felt so unhappy about myself, about my situation. I was so unsatisfied, so depressed, that I felt much easier to just don't take personal responsibility and just step in front of the car and end it for all. It was the easiest way, because I think I saw no way out. I thought that there is no way out of this, because I'm doing everything, I'm putting so much energy into self-development, and I'm going nowhere. So I'm curious, like, is this something, or is it something similar you experienced, or can you relate to this? Or
yeah, specifically when you're talking about like how strict you were with your routine and doing the affirmations for an hour and healthy eating and that kind of thing. I definitely went through a spell doing that, which I think is helpful, but then it gets to the point where you can be overdoing it and forcing yourself to do it when you just don't feel like it, kind of. So I think it's good to, for me it was good to realise that I don't have to do it consistently. You know, I don't need to force myself. If I don't feel like it, just kind of do more about what I feel like rather than force myself to do something. And also what you're saying about like the right reasons, doing it for the right reasons. I think that part of wanting to be like part of wanting to improve yourself a lot can be or like improve the amount of money you make. I found that it was at times it was like I was looking for something that wouldn't bring you, that wouldn't bring to me, kind of thing. And in actual fact, I could kind of look within myself for it, and instead of constantly looking for it outside, kind of thing, and constantly trying to achieve something else, something different.
Yeah, so if I understand you, then you experience a struggle when you doing these routines, and you almost feel like you overdo it, and it doesn't necessarily makes the effect what you desire, or the effect what it intended to do. And then it's just better to relax. And sometimes the reason behind what we do is maybe not the deepest, or not the right reason.
Yeah. For example, like I think a lot of people could be like self-conscious of the way they look. They might want to change something about the way they look. But then they could change it, and then they'll find something else about the way they look they want to change, and they'll keep wanting to change and change and change. When they don't have to change the way they look, they can change the way they think about it, and change something from the inside of it.
Yeah. Because I see that you understand as well that it's not the look what's the problem.
Yeah.
How they think about it. And they still can achieve. And they still can do these amazing routines and tools once they sorted out the reason. And this is exactly what Innately Whole is about. So this is the struggle. The struggle is that if we don't know who we really are, we're missing authenticity, we're missing, let me just, yes, 4 things: authenticity, happiness, effectiveness, and meaning. So these are the four things what we're missing, and these are the 4 benefits what we're gaining back. If we choose to live, we know and choose to live from the innately whole place. Being innately whole, or living from the place of innately whole, I rather say it in this way, means that you're living from a absolute resourceful state. You are the most resourceful you can be in every possible level. You are the most resourceful from every possible level. Why? Because you connected to your source, and your source is even bigger than yourself. But before we go too deep into that, I want to just take it a bit slower and guiding into it a bit more. As I mentioned, there are four parts what we're gonna find, not get. I wanted to say get, but that's like adding. We will find, we will remember to it. And this is our authenticity, who we really are. Like, what makes us feel joyful, grateful, really lively. And if we find these, and all of these have also the feeling of righteousness, like in terms of like, this is right, I just feel that this is right to me. The thing is that those things are even deeper than we are. So we connected emotionally to that, because that's what our soul wanted to experience in our life. So it became important to us, but the real core of it is bigger than ourselves. So this is authenticity. Like you act, you learn who you are, you experience who you are, and from there you can express in the world who you are. So that's true authenticity. You experience, you know who you are, you experience it. I like to use experience because it's always in the now. You experience who you are and you express it. For example, it's called self-awareness. So you aware what makes you feel good, bad, and you go deeper and you find out why, and then from that can fuel your future actions. The next one is happiness. I like to use the fulfillment, but I try to choose words what people can really connect to and relate to. So happiness is a little bit can be misleading, because different people mean different things under happiness. But that's why I rather use fulfillment. So it's not necessarily pleasures. It's more of you can be fulfilled even when you're experiencing a tremendous discomfort. If you live authentically, then even being in the best situation or even bad mood, you can find a center. So this is why entrepreneurs like Gary Vaynerchuk, like he said, this what comes into my mind is like, I rather be authentic and fuck something up than being not authentic and playing safe. Because if you like, or when, for example, good parents say that if you have a dream, just go for it, and because otherwise you would regret it, right? So what I mean by that, if you authentic and if you act from your authentic place, even if things turn out that it doesn't work in a way you wanted, you still can root in the feeling that I acted authentic, and that gives you a sense of like this was the right thing to do, even if things didn't turn out how I wanted. And often we find that actually there is a deeper reason behind it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And so happiness in that way, or fulfillment in that way, comes from innately whole, comes from expressing yourself authentically. The other one is effectiveness. So being in the place of innately whole, being in the place of emptiness, of spaciousness, brings with it intuition, brings with it flow, brings with it, so with intuition I mean because being in innately whole place means that a lot of your problems even become irrelevant, because most of our, or all of our problems connected to our ego. And once you realize, and later on I will talk about it, I will talk about how, if you realize that you, in the deepest level, you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, and not your body, then you distance yourself from your ego. You are not those things what we most of the times identify with, and your problems just become irrelevant. I experienced it before with my coach. We discovered a problem, we went deep into it, and like in most of the times it came up like the root of it: I'm not good enough. Okay, here we again. I'm not good enough. Okay, what should we do about it? Should we do an emotional healing on it again? And you can obviously peel down the layers and such. That's pretty much fixing. If you go into the innately whole place that I'm basically none of these, and you experience it, so it's not a intellectual thing, then you just feel it's not even relevant. It's like a joke. It's like you see it out there. It's like before that it was inside in me, like, oh, my story, you know. After that it's like you see it and you're not attached to it. It's like you don't even see it as bad. It's just there. It's not even relevant. So that's what I experienced after my depression. I saw all of these concepts that I'm not good because of this and that, you know, I need this and that to be good. And at one point I just saw that things are just things. I'm just who I am, and I saw everything in its true nature. And all of the problems just became irrelevant in a second or less. So because of that you become effective, because it frees up a lot of mental and emotional power to not worrying. Worrying is really just putting a lot of energy into something what's not true. It's just an imagination. So because of that you got effective, and because you connected to higher meaning. That's it pretty much. And the fourth one is the meaning itself, having a higher purpose. So once you're not attached to the ego, and once you connected to who you are, you naturally will open to a higher purpose. This cannot not happen, in my opinion. Maybe your higher purpose for now will be to raise your kids or your family properly. And through that you will unfold. Maybe your higher purpose is something to help to a specific group or to everyone. Or maybe your higher purpose will evolve over time. But the importance of it that you will be freaking motivated. So the meaning of it, or the meaning part, the purpose part, is that you will be motivated and things won't tear you down as much because you have a higher thing, something higher than yourself. You see, the problem is always comes back to me, to the person. Like, I'm hurt, my story. That's a victim mentality. And being innately whole means that you have something, you hack the system. You have something higher. You hacked the ego thing.